Hello, welcome to Pure Soul Alchemy. I'm Gabriella Espinosa, and I'll be taking us through a psychic surgery soul realignment alchemy treatment for the next 20 minutes. It's most beneficial if you can be laying down and closing your eyes while the treatment is going on. Pure Soul Alchemy is a channeled shamanic operation. Through my perception and vocalization of the inner energetic grid, we are opened in ways which allow these processes to come into our physical reality and enact change on your behalf. Allow your mind to relax into the words and phrases that are coming through, and just, kind of notice if your mind tries to grab on to any of those words and phrases or try to figure out what they mean or how does that apply to me. If your mind starts doing that, that's fine. Just breathe into it and know that the main point is for you to relax and receive the treatment. So this is literally a no-brainer. You don't have to attend to the words that are coming through. So, and if you fall asleep, that's even better. It's quite helpful to replay this session often in order to deepen its healing effects. So play it a lot over the next several weeks. And if you find the session helpful, please give it a thumbs up, hit the little bell and share it. That way you'll be alerted about new future sessions. So today's session is a shamanic treatment for breaking down old patterns of hyper or over reactivity or reaction responses. And it's also about laying a new grid for having more presence and consciousness for right words and right actions in our internal and our external response mechanism. So this pertains to anything in your life that you'd like to do better at or be better at. So before listening to the session, in your mind's eye, connect with any patterns or habits where you typically go unconscious and go into hyperreaction, overreaction or even underreaction in conversations, stressful situations, dealing with change, even with addictions, anything and everything. So go ahead and bring this to the forefront of your awareness, of your attention, as you receive these alchemy applications. So now go ahead and lay down, relax, close your eyes, get comfortable. Now take a few deep, slow, and thoughtful breaths. Deliberate breathing with your attention on your breathing. Feeling into your body. Noticing any places where there are sensations, and then also noticing those places where you don't really feel anything. Begin to envision your breathing reaching these areas, bringing life force and vitality there. And allow this to continue as we go through our session. So we're going to begin by connecting with our divine physical and non-physical intelligence to align completely with our own core essence. Aligning with the fundamental and essential aspects of ourselves, aligning with the earth, the sun, the moon, with our own Mother, Father, God self, with our own inherent creator self, and a right placement in the universe. The purest healing source within us is our own deepest aspect. We agree to serve as our own healing agent and to serve from and as our own ultimate inner counsel, the all that I am. We now invoke, welcome, and receive our beloved Mother and Father God to exact their loving, divine, blessed grace directly into our healing proceedings today. All right. Great. So we're going to begin by clearing over bombardment of information. This could be data. This could be facts. It could be energies. It could be things going on in your physicality or affecting your physicality. Great. So we're just clearing for that phenomenon of over bombardment of information. Great. And also we want to clear for conflicting information. So conflicting information that bumps up against and hits, sorry, that's my cat, and hits up against our normalcy bias. So that's a good thing, but it's going to stir up some uncomfortableness and some fight or flight. So that's where we're clearing right now. Great. Clearing normalcy bias reactivity. Clearing misperception of threat. Clearing the phenomenon where it feels like a trapped animal in a corner that is lashing out in response or recoiling in and restricting, self-restricting in response to over bombardment of stimulus or that stimulus hitting up against our normalcy bias. Great, so we're just clearing fight or flight right now, which is great as it corresponds to our normalcy bias. Great, clearing the interpretation, the false interpretation of dire circumstances, crisis circumstances. I'm going to do a little clapping, clearing on that. Just kind of helps to break up the energies more easily, more directly. Great, doing a repair for where we feel and misperceive threat. And sometimes threat is real, you know. And in those situations, we want to be in our center. We want to be calm and clear and relaxed so we can hone in on the appropriate response and not miss anything. All right, let's clear on this phrase, counseling attack / vendetta framework. Back into the truth reality of the present where all is well. Counseling attack vendetta framework. Back into the reality, the truth reality of the present moment where all is well. Ease of circumstances, resourcing light. Spirit plane automatic refresh reflex. It's I guess recoil. Okay, so clearing on that. Overview, repair, and re-engagement. Structural recall, integration, and implementation. Truth seeing and truth telling capacities upgrade. This is where we tell the truth to ourselves and where we allow ourselves to see the truth and perceive the truth, and we allow ourselves to know it, and then we also allow ourselves to share the truth as we see it without attachment. Clearing an overview reactionary response, clearing negative frame interface, movement into a higher reflex of authority, and correct posturing for real life, real time problem resolution, strategies, and implementation. More clapping, clearing. Right, something about a continuation of an electric response. We want to do a modulation there. Great. Context repair. Context repair. Unauthorized flow through release and repeal. This is important. Unauthorized flow through release and repeal. Compensation analysis response rehabilitation. Unearthing situations of grave response, retort, relevancy. Great, so we want to do a healing on that. Clearing inner and outer condemnation. So we're doing an inner and outer condemnation release, removal. So just relax, lay back, and let this removal happen for you. Higher wave, authentication, optimization, complex charge reiteration, unauthorized flow through release and repeal. Great. Anchoring a true conversation. It's going to be within yourself, with your own being, and with others. Anchoring a true conversation. And the ability to leave whatever the situation, circumstance, or conversation, if you and or the other party is unable to be present at the time. Gracefully exiting doesn't mean it's over. It just means, okay, time out, I'm gonna come back to myself, regroup, and then we can continue this conversation later. Or if it's not about that with another person, or I can decide on this decision later, or this course of action. Strong affinity with life size interface. Repairing the ability and the commitment to slow down the response mechanism in order to gather more information, intelligence from within and without. Great. And so it's going back to that piece, the gravity response. Okay, so we just want to clear on this where whatever it is feels like it's the most important thing in the universe, and I have to attend to it now. I have to do something about it now. So there's some kind of expediency, falsehood, and a gravity, bigness. I'm such a wordsmith. And a bigness, like if I don't attend to this, there's going to be calamity, or if I don't take action now, all hell's going to break loose, something like that. So we're clearing on that. It's already discharging nicely. Overflow mechanisms, inheriting goodness response. Repairing our ability to take a breather and internally examine the trigger points and diffuse them, and return to our logic and discernment faculties, full functionality. Coming to a new regular procedure for sorting through what is crying out for healing on the inside and what is off or wrong or in error on the outside. So I want to do a clearing there, and bringing in this new regular procedure for sorting through and coming and landing into truth and a peaceful centeredness. Coming to certain terms of engagement that no longer overly stress your system, that no longer add fuel to the fire in relationships, in major life choices, in conquering addictions, etc., etc. So new terms of engagement, new process procedure for keeping your wits about you, keeping your center. Great, let's clear fear-based assertive tactics. Fear-based or lack-based assertive tactics. Well, I have to stand my ground now, because if I don't, then they're going to take advantage of me, or I'm going to lose out, or blah, 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 whatever it is. So these pushing yourself, or the pattern is pushing you into the corner into a corner to have to make a decision now, or have to make a rash decision. Great. Doing a massive obliteration process on that. Energy field, body field, spaciousness reclamation, toxicity removal, and interface reality recharge. Energy field reactivation, recalibration, taking ownership of and responsibility for your part in a disagreement or an unsettling situation. Doesn't mean you make yourself wrong, it's just seeing your part, because it always takes 2 or 3 or more to tango, and everybody's got a part. And the work is to see our own part and work it in the moment. And then also seeing very clearly, without judgment, where the other party is off base and to what degree they're off base, and then clearing any charge around that. This happens really quick. So we want to bring that online, immediacy that this process takes place. Easily and effortlessly and peacefully calling it out, where they are off, calling them out while acknowledging you're part of the trigger. Great. And sometimes it's not going to be peaceful. Sometimes there's going to be an explosion. That's going to happen. And the main thing is keeping your cool, keeping your center, no matter what happens, you're just calling out the truth as you see it with an openness. It's not a you're right, you're wrong, I'm right thing either, because that's going to shut it down, peaceful negotiations right away. So we want to keep the all parties open, the energy open, easily and effortlessly and peacefully calling it out how you see it. Non-attachment to being right or wrong. Say, this is what it looks like to me. This is what it feels like to me. Great. We also want to clear stress and urgency around doing that. And fear. Emotion and momentary relief, bringing that online. Great. Next healing point, disassembling an intense threat or fear response. Fear, threat of disagreement. Fear or threat of disagreement. Fear of being seen or portrayed as wrong, stupid, ignorant, uninformed, misinformed. Great, let's clear on that fear. Because sometimes people are going to think weird stuff about us. And, there's nothing we can do about that except stand our ground, tell our truth, and, be ready to walk away if they refuse to see you for who you are. It doesn't mean you give up. It's like you say your piece, and if it's falling on deaf ears, there's nothing else you can do. At that time, maybe there's later. Still clearing. Yeah, just really letting go of wanting other people to have a good opinion of you. Letting go of that desire or that pull or that push. Internal livelihood, judgmental reflex release. Clearing imaginary responses and imaginary interpretations. Great. Diffusing the charge around you and or the other party. And this is about who's right and who's wrong. And let's clear on that. I'm right, you're wrong. Let's clear on that concept, energy, trigger point, and collectivism, trauma wounding. Ownership resourcing within. Great. So diffusing charge around the I'm right, you're wrong energy. It's a self-defense mechanism. Great. And we're going to do a diffusion on the misperception of threat. It's like, so what if I'm wrong? Doesn't mean I'm going to die or the world's going to end or everybody's going to hate me, because we all have our moments of being wrong. We're just hanging out there and diffusing, dissolving fear of being wrong. Let's clear fear of public humiliation around being wrong. Great. And so carrying forward the energy of okayness for being right or wrong. It just, we just want the right truth information to come out. It's not about who's right, who's wrong. So we want to bring that, we want you to have that and be carrying that energy into any situation. It just doesn't matter. And then this gets transmitted to all those people that you're, having a discussion with or working on a project together with, and then they get to have the benefit too of, oh, wow, let's just do a good job on this and do some teamwork and let go of who's right, who's wrong, or who messed up or whatever. Let's just do and be the very best that we can be. Dynamic, life-giving situation, opportunity, upgrade. Great. So alchemy declarations. From now on, I retain full access to my consciousness, even in the midst of triggering or triggered emotions. I take a breath when old patterns of aggression, fear, lashing out, acting out, retreating, are trying to assert themselves through my being, through my body, through my mouth, through my words. I take a deep breath, notice what's happening. And then I step forward and take charge and don't let them take me over. I stay centered in my being. From now on, I choose words, actions, behaviors, thoughts that are affirming for myself and for those around me. Words, actions, behaviors, thoughts that build myself up and build others up. And I stand my ground and retain my center. And so it is. Thank you so much for tuning in to Pure Soul Alchemy. If you found this session helpful, please share it, give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and all that stuff, and click the bell so that you'll be alerted about new sessions that come up. I highly recommend that you play the session repeatedly. Sometimes I recommend putting it on auto replay, downloading it from my website and playing it on auto replay for a spell and see what happens. Sometimes you can have an intense, huge shamanic release. And of course, do the self-care. Also on my website, it's the tab that says post-session aftercare or something like that. And if you'd like to schedule an individual session, and for more information, please visit www.puresoulalchemy.com. Thanks so much and have a wonderful day.